some about me. I went to Allen, and I graduated there. I went through a really trying experience there. I'm sure some of you have heard me speak before about this, but I was run over by a car, and it really took a lot of things away from me. But it gave me so much more because my original plans had to change. And I found Texas A&M, and I immersed myself immediately. I remember the minute that I found that I was in love with Texas A&M was at my fish camp, my freshman year. I was sitting in the muster ceremony that I'm sure so many of you have had, the replica of the muster ceremony, and I couldn't imagine another place that I wanted to be at that time. And from that, I knew that from my past and learning that I only have a certain amount of seconds to impact everything that I'm surrounded by, I knew that I wanted to use those seconds to impact this great university that has given so much to me from the get-go.
I was in InterVarsity Christian Fellowship since my freshman year. I was a small group leader, and through that I was able to really invest and truly, on ground floor, truly invest in students here at Texas A&M. Now I'm an ambassador for the for the Department of Multicultural Services. So the diversity in the Aggie family truly resonates with us. I'm also the Vice President of Asian Presidents Council. I tell people I'm a self-made man. I paid through college entirely by myself, and then I'm so proud to say this past Thanksgiving, I actually paid off all of my student loans. And I also purchased my first car, and her name is Emma, and she has a lot of problems, but she symbolizes the hard work, dedication that I poured into, and I believe that translates to Texas A&M.
The reason that I'm running for student body president, simply put, is that I'm running because of and for the Aggie family. We all talk about the Aggie family, but that's because we all agree that it's important. You know, I had the opportunity, I would say that I was blessed from the moment that I stepped onto this campus as a freshman to just be surrounded by incredible people that molded me and shaped me into who I am today. And it's because of the depth and significance that I had with these people that my appreciation for Texas A&M is something that is so immense that I feel obligated but excited to give back to the university in the position of student body president. And so that's why I'm running for student body president. And our platform and our vision, our policies are very simply put, that we want to preserve the best of our past and promote the best of our future. I will be sacrificing an internship if I get this position, so that's also a nice segue into this topic. But I think sacrifice is inherent in the position of student body president. I don't view the position of student body president as a political position, because there's not parties at Texas A&M, there's not divergent philosophical ideas that we need to convince each other of. I view the position of student body president as a service position, as a position of sacrifice. And so I intend to sacrifice whatever I need to in order to properly fulfill this position. And I've already sacrificed lots of sleep and grades and a good GPA for the position of the things that I've held so far at Texas A&M. And I intend to continue to prioritize in the exact same way that I have before, that Texas A&M and its purpose and its culture and its leadership comes before my own needs.
You know, I work at the rec center, and upon this summer, I'm at the same boat. I'm supposed to be working for Union Pacific Railroad, and I think that's a great sacrifice in itself. But that's what I want everyone to understand. Ultimately, people who are voting, or people who have not historically voted, this is larger than yourself. You're serving a bigger purpose. And I believe personal success versus the impact you can make here at Texas A&M is pretty obvious which you would choose. There's 50,000 plus students, and to say that you were here and you impacted, empowered them, and inspired them in their time here at Texas A&M, and they went out, because I believe all Aggies are world changers. I believe we're at the forefront of many, many different things. And ultimately, that'll translate to millions of people touched worldwide because of what we did here today in this room, in the MSC flag room.
So a couple of months ago, a year ago, I went to Spencer Leadership Conference, and I got to sit in a room full of 4 leaders, full of my delegates and then 4 leaders that were talking to us about what it's like to lead at Texas A&M. And they said that it's a tiring process. You lose sleep, your grades sometimes plummet, relationships sometimes are strained, but what an honor to have the ability to sacrifice yourself for a greater good. So when I hear what kind of sacrifices am I going to have to make, every single one of us has had to make sacrifices just to even be sitting here. I mean, $2,000 is a pretty big sacrifice. But what an honor it is to be able to have that opportunity in this country to make those sacrifices. One of the things that I did when I started forming my team way back in September was I wanted to bring people on from each year. Nick Taunton spoke at Junior Ewok, and he said that the best thing you can do as a leader is train the people behind you so that they one day can be a leader just like you. And so what we did was we brought on freshmen. We have, I believe, 3 freshmen on our team, 2 sophomores, and we've trained them as much as possible from differing backgrounds so that one day they could be sitting in this position. Because it's all about, like Joseph says, preserving our past and promoting the future. But it's a perfect line. So we got to promote our future, just like he says. And I think that that's what we're doing here at Texas A&M, and we're making the right strides. So thank you very much for that.
And I think that's the issue, or I think that's the most important thing to remember, that diversity for the sake of diversity is, I would say, foolish. But diversity for the sake of fairness, because that's what's right, and that people all deserve to be treated equally, that is the ultimate goal. And so I think that raising these people up to think of themselves not as a racial group or a class year or a major, but to think of themselves as fighting Texas Aggies, and that we all have an equal opportunity to be standing on this stage come your junior or senior year. I think that is probably the most important messages that I could send, is that it doesn't matter who you are, what your major is, or what you're doing. If you want to be here, and if you want to have an opportunity to win and lead, you can.
This year, I'm proud to say that we have around 8 senators of all different backgrounds and ultimately all different ethnicities running, getting involved in SGA. And ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do here before I graduate. And all of us just leaving our legacy. That's what legacy is. It's the first time that has ever happened here at Texas A&M. We're not here to complain. We're here to take initiative and say, hey, we are trying to get involved. We are the Aggie family. And ultimately, that's how we're training our leaders, mainly multicultural students, but we also have politically Republican, but socially liberal candidates as well running for Senate. But that's tangible things we're doing to get those students empowered and inspired to get involved in SGA, because we're always talking about representation and inclusion, but if we don't take initiative, nothing's really going to change. There are certain programs, initiatives, and different groups here at Texas A&M that he might not see as important to getting Texas A&M to that top 10, #1 university in this nation. I believe we can work, build a relationship, and ultimately let them know why these traditions are important here at Texas A&M. Let them know why certain programs and events here at Texas A&M are important to different communities.
With Mr. Young. And I think one of the most important things that this president could do, there's a lot of important things, but one of the things that he can do that affects students in SGA specifically is that former presidents have had the student body president on their cabinet, and that's been gone since Dr. Gates. And so we are hopeful that that will come back with Mr. Young. He seems to have been open to the idea of including students on his cabinet meetings. We think this is an important way to get involved with the president. That is something that if I win, I will be asking and expecting of him.
Let's just forward in our academics, and with that, there are some changes, some things from Washington that he wants to bring that are great ideas, but not necessarily the best for Aggie land. So the first step when sitting down with Mr. Young is to develop a respectful relationship where we can work together while I, if elected, promote the best for the students. And so what that looks like is that we need to make sure, I need to make sure, that he understands everything that Texas A&M, whether that's putting together some documents of what our traditions are, what our jargon is so he understands and isn't confused when we're talking, whatever he needs to learn what Texas A&M is. And that's the job of the student body president and that cabinet, to make sure that he is off on the right foot and knowing what A&M is all about.
It's great to see this kind of support and encouragement for all 3 of us. Ultimately, all 3 of us are running on very similar things. We want the betterment for the Aggie family. And I believe for our platform, we are doing that tangibly. Like I've already said, we have those senators running. Ultimately, we want to see a Texas A&M. I believe here at Texas A&M, we are a family. And it really does break my heart to hear. I've had the time, it's been a lot of stress to listen, and it kind of brings you down, and it's like a burden on your shoulders. But to really listen to the students and hear all the problems that are going on in LGBT community, in the core, in multicultural services. I believe here at Texas A&M, we want to be the greatest. I could not be more proud of Texas A&M. And despite our differences, I believe it's the Aggie spirit that unites us.
As cliche as it sounds, this isn't about any single one of us sitting up here. This is about all of y'all sitting out there. This is about us representing you in the best way possible, and taking our platforms and making them not simply words on a piece of paper, but actions that you will see in your everyday lives for the rest of next year and the time to come. I think that we have the ability to do amazing things next year. I think that all three of these, or well, these other two and myself, have abilities and platforms that are amazing, and we can do great things. But I'm going to tell you why I think that I could be your next student body president. I haven't been involved in SGA since I was a freshman. I've been involved in many different organizations across campus, from class councils to fish camp to OLAGs, so many other things. And I've truly gotten to live the Aggie experience outside of SGA. I ran to become a senator because I saw that there was a problem that needed to be fixed. And I took that problem full on, and I wanted to work to make sure that every student had the representation they deserved. And I saw that I could promote that even further from this position as student body president.
Texas A&M. There are 50,000 students, but there is one Texas A&M, and that's what unites us all. You know, I talked about diversity today with the Diversity Commission as well, and I said that diversity at Texas A&M is fantastic because it reminds us of our individual strengths, but it also points to the fact that we are all one because of Texas A&M, not because of our race or gender or backgrounds or whatever it is. We all are different in those ways. But when we come to Texas A&M, we are all fighting Texas Aggies. And I think that consistency through the change that we're experiencing right now is important. We're in a new conference. We have a new stadium. We have a new president. We have a new vice president of student affairs. And what I'm offering to the student body is consistency through this change, that we will stay focused on what makes Texas A&M special. Traditions, spirit, core values. Those will be the forefront of our cabinet. Those will be the forefront of Student Government Association, and that is my forefront. I'm offering to you